Hello, my name is Patrina Mack, and I'm founder and managing partner of Vision and Execution. I'm thrilled to be here with you today to talk about how to scale your business and grow revenues in the United States. At Vision and Execution, we've spent the last 20 years helping companies outside of the US find a way to successfully enter the US market. During that time, we've seen various missteps that got in the way of companies achieving their goals. Some of the things we've seen include hiring friends because they lack a professional network in the US, typically expats who may be native speakers in the home country, but are not true US local marketing experts. Despite how proficient our clients' English may be, there are nuances that are often overlooked or missed, leading to misperceptions about what is happening, especially during sales calls. Another challenge is when the executive team or senior leaders do not come over to help with the sales process. There are a lot of business insights to be gleaned during a sales call that helps executives better understand their market opportunity or lack thereof, or simply learn about critical impediments to their success that are easily fixed. As a new company without US market traction, the typical company cuts prices as a means to win early customers, undermining the product's value proposition and reducing profit while overextending resources for the rest of the business. Then headquarters demands that resources be used back in the home country, and companies leave the US market before achieving success, thus wasting valuable investment dollars. The most important thing you can do before you come to the US is conduct a US market opportunity assessment. By validating the market opportunity size and trends and how your solution stacks up to the vast number of competitors that most companies encounter when coming to the US, you will learn if there is even a market opportunity to pursue. And if you're lucky, you will find what we like to call a chink in the armor, a niche in the market by which you can get your foot in the door in the US for your product or services. More often than not, especially for technology solutions, what is considered competitive in your home country is not competitive here in the US. And understanding what additional functionality is needed to be competitive is a critical first step to know if you're ready for the US. A good market opportunity assessment will tell you all of that, as well as what is your optimal target market and how your product stacks up. If you've invested in a good market opportunity assessment, you should have the insights necessary to have your launch toolkit ready. You'll know if you have a good product or service that solves a real customer pain point. You'll understand how to clearly explain customer benefits tailored to the right audiences, not just list features or specifications. You'll have identified the correct sales channel to close business, or identified that the category is ripe for disruption when it comes to channel strategy. You'll have identified the minimum operational processes and support needed to inspire customers that you're here for the long haul and they can trust you to service their needs. The market opportunity assessment gives you insights into the revenue potential and what is the minimum funding needed to achieve your sales potential. And lastly, you'll need persistence and patience to navigate along the way. It's not enough to have the marketing insights. You need to translate those insights into the market resources needed to ensure your sales success. Marketing materials need to explain business benefits, not technical details, and marketing materials need to be concise, visually compelling to US tastes, and address real customer pain points. Marketing materials must be localized for American speak. Americans easily pick up on grammatical mistakes a person who learned English as a second language makes. Make sure you have a US resource locally edit your copy. And don't be in a rush to hire a local team until you have traction. It's expensive and time-consuming to find just the right team members. It's much more effective to work with fractional US resources as you navigate and solidify your marketing and sales strategies. So many clients we've helped initially came over to sell a product that was successful in their home country, often paying for expensive trade shows without understanding their market opportunity first. And then they have no idea why they weren't successful. In the United States, we joke a lot about short attention spans of executives. There's a reason for that, as these bullets point out. Decision makers are inundated with vendors trying to pitch their solutions, more often than not, without really understanding what's in it for the customer. Here's my verbal exclamation point for the importance of understanding your value proposition so you can relay compelling benefits to your target customers, which are likely different here in the US than what you experience at home. If you truly understand how your product is different and why these differences will make a decision maker's life better, you will get your foot in the door with a lower probability of needing to discount your offering. This may seem obvious, but what makes the US unique is the sheer number of competitors you will face. Being able to differentiate your product in this environment is much harder, but critical to your success. There's a logical process you can follow, just like the process we use with our clients. First, start with the product you have in home country and conduct market research here in the US, either through one-on-one interviews or through quantitative market research. You'll quickly learn if your product is competitive or not, what functionality might be missing, what the pricing sensitivity is, and the optimal market segments here in the US, as well as the decision process that a potential customer goes through to reach a decision to buy a product like yours. You can then work on enhancing your product to meet US market demands, refine your market segments, test the new version when needed with your target market segments. You will then be able to refine your sales messages, marketing strategy, prioritize where and how to launch, and otherwise complete your go-to-market strategy and programs. As you mature your product for the US market, you'll be able to identify adjacent markets to extend your product to, scale your growth plans, and achieve your first-year revenues. Let's look at some projects that Vision and Execution completed as examples of how this has played out. In some cases, the client hired us from the get-go, and in other cases, the client found us after their failed attempts on their own. Tories was a client that came over on a business mission. They met with us and hired us to guide their journey. We conducted quantitative market research to validate their US market opportunity size and determine if in this highly competitive market, there was demand for yet another consumer travel app. We identified that many pain points consumers were still experiencing in spite of a crowded marketplace. We then conducted user experience testing to determine if the client's B2B version of the product addressed those needs. Not surprisingly, there was still a big gap between what B2B customers wanted versus what this new market opportunity for consumers wanted. We captured the consumer feedback and ended up leading their product development process to get those new requirements implemented. Once we had the new consumer version, we still did additional user experience testing to confirm that we got it right and learned that if there were a few less bugs and a few minor tweaks, this solution would replace all other solutions customers were using. From here, we developed the client's go-to-market strategy and implemented their launch at several US travel shows. In the case of this client, they already had a US presence and felt comfortable launching a new consumer solution along with their marketing their enterprise solutions at RSA. Not surprisingly, there wasn't much demand for consumer solutions at a trade show focused on very technical enterprise solutions. The client also did not really understand the consumer requirements or benefits that they were seeking from such a solution, so the client's messaging and promotional tactics were not very successful. Because of these missteps, we were hired to complete a market opportunity assessment for the client. Through our efforts, we identified a niche opportunity with a new minimum viable product, including identifying the target customers that would respond positively to this modified offering. We completed our efforts for the client by crafting the company's go-to-market strategy. For this client, we were hired to help them rethink their product offering and go-to-market strategy, given that their missteps with their first foray into the US had changed their business strategy. It turned out that the resources needed to educate small specialty retailers to sell premium wireless speakers over competing solutions were too cumbersome and costly. The company had already decided to target a lower price point when they hired B&E. We conducted quantitative market research to evaluate 3 product options, but what became clear from our analysis was that the form factor of the product was not the driving force behind purchase intent. Price was. We learned that a particular price point was the sweet spot for purchasing portable wireless speakers. The team went back to the lab and designed a product that could hit that price point. They relaunched with this new product at Consumer Electronics Show and were generating revenues by the end of the year. This client was here as part of a business mission, and we had the opportunity to help introduce them to potential partners and customers. It became very clear that their traditional mode of selling would not work here in the US. Decision makers in the US had no patience for the client's 30-page technical presentation, especially because they couldn't describe any business benefits. Fortunately, because the CEO was here learning firsthand, he fully absorbed that they needed to change their marketing approach for the US. Vision and Execution was hired to create their US website. We translated all their technical content into marketing content with a strong emphasis on the business benefits this company's solution delivered. Also importantly, this company had no US presence, nor US phone number for sales or support. We addressed that, including designing their customer support options to ensure clients that they would get the service they needed for a fairly complex and very technical solution. The company went on to successfully win US sales. While these are some of the clients we've worked with, Vision and Execution has been helping clients launch successful new products and services for 20 years, including helping clients refine their product development process to be more innovative and get new products to market faster. It's been my pleasure to share our insights into successful expansion strategies and tactics for the US. I'm happy to have an introductory meeting to discuss your specific needs and how we might help. Thank you for your time today.